This is a request from Dark Amulet on what if Freeza and Coola had a civil war. The impetus of this is Cold declaring Frieza leader of his business on his birth, being argued against by Coola, saying power alone won't allow Frieza to lead correctly, and experience should trump that, with him bringing up the amount of planets he's conquered or sold, and the efficiency of his armored squadron. To this, Cold says he'll take longer to consider, but Coola will need to prove himself even more. Coola's first course of action is approaching the Ginyu Tokusentai, as Ginyu had once competed to be Coola's own subordinate. Coola convinces him that it's only natural for he and his men to serve him. His next action is to go to planet Vegeta before Cold does, and declare he has much respect for the Saiyans, seeing their desire for battle and growing stronger as similar to his own, and that they should become an allied world to him. King Vegeta sees Coola's claim as at least more agreeable than Cold's rule, and does so, allowed more freedom for growth than under Cold, and the most talented being allowed to train alongside Coola, the armored squadron, and now the Ginyu Tokusentai. Their Saiyan power is activated quickly, with those such as King Vegeta reaching battle powers of the millions in a few weeks. Cold is so impressed by his management that he decides to allow Frieza and Coola to govern the business in their own way, with soldiers being given a vote on who to follow. Many low-ranking soldiers, like Apul, go with Coola in the hopes they may be allowed to improve as much as the Saiyans. Those averse to changes to the status quo, such as Zarbon and Dodoria, choose to serve Frieza. The schism eventually troubles Frieza, with the possibility Coola's strength in numbers may prove a threat, especially if striking at a time in which Frieza is in his lower forms, which cause him to become used to staying in his true form, before deciding it's time to strike. The first target is planet Vegeta. At a time most of the population is there. All the regular survivors remain intact, but with a few other additions. King Vegeta and his elite troops are meeting with Coola at the time, and Bardak's team successfully conquer planet Meat. Speaking of which, Coola would have been the one to request Kanasa be conquered due to the people's abilities, making it a good addition to oppose Frieza if he can gain a survivor, with Bardock acquiring precognition, and Frieza's more antagonistic relationship with the Saiyans having his warning that Frieza will destroy planet Vegeta threat far more seriously, as he and many others flee the planet. Though Frieza's soldiers shoot down many, including Guinea, the survivors number roughly 100, with Coola seeing this as a declaration of war. He makes Bardock a sparring partner when wanting to prepare him as a key member of his army as a seer. His continuous training with such strong sparring partners allows Coola to unlock his super evolution far earlier, and make him very confident in opposing Frieza. Coola's subordinates easily dispose of Frieza's, while Coola overpowers his brother and prepares to finish things before deciding on a better idea. He orders Ginyu to body change with Frieza, and then delivers Frieza as a prisoner to the Galactic Patrol, finding entertainment at one who only knew of the strength he was born with, being imprisoned in a far weaker body. His father then has no issue with Coola being the sole ruler as the one who surpassed Frieza, being tutored by his father and being vastly more powerful than normal regardless. Raditz is never considered a hindrance, and thereby has no desire to find his brother on Earth. Visions Bardock has do make him curious on his other son's condition though, and is given permission by Coola to see to it. He quickly finds Goku without delay when sensing out his ki while hiding his own from the lessons Coola had provided. He's extremely disappointed in Goku's ki and attitude, but then has visions of Goku fighting Coola. Though Bardock respects Coola far more than he did Frieza, his Saiyan instincts still give him the urge to surpass him. With him choosing to take a gamble, he agrees to give Goku 1 month to prepare for a rematch through having access to his ship's facilities, while he'll prepare purely with what Earth has to offer. Even should Goku defeat him somehow, Bardock knows it will have him see the value of his ways. As additional incentive for Goku to agree though, he takes Gohan hostage. Goku then asks Bulma if she can create a gravity room capsule, when remembering his brief trip in the Room of Spirit and Time, combining this and the medical machine to use his Saiyan power to quickly master 100 times gravity, while Bardock explores Earth while tutoring Gohan when noting his increasing ki when upset. He senses out Piccolo and notes it being odd for a Namekian to be there, completely changing Piccolo's worldview both from his own identity and the existence of such a powerful being. When Piccolo laments at world domination having lost all purpose, Bardock is interested at an attitude similar to a Saiyan and offers to help him improve by being a punching bag. Essentially getting the Tagoma treatment allows Piccolo to become many times stronger, though still nothing to Bardock. After the month is over, Goku proves a surprising challenge to Bardock, with his time at 100 times gravity both improving his use of ki and his naturally improved speed, keeping Bardock on his toes, though Bardock's experience still gives him the strength and skills to have the advantage. He's impressed enough that he concedes, and tells his son the full history of the Saiyans and their relationship to Cold's people. Goku's desires to test his limits, and concern at what may happen if Coola sets his sights on Earth, has him agree to work with his father to try and overthrow him as they and Piccolo leave Earth. Bardock then calls Raditz and claims Kakarot held such surprising strength that he's been forced to retreat from Earth and will rendezvous with Raditz's group to plan conquering Earth for its amazing resources later. Meanwhile, Coola's efficient acquisition of territory and focus on worlds that will improve his empire has him target Yardrat far earlier than Frieza did. He kills many of the population, but spares the Yardratians that submit, and agree to teach him spirit control. As someone capable of using Shunkan Ido in an even more battle-effective way than Goku, it takes Coola little time to master it, before moving on to the other tenets of spirit control. With how much Vegeta improved from this, Coola's ki increases by dozens of times, while grasping the basics of forced spirit fission and cloning. When Bardock meets with Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta, who at this point has forced his father to retire and is now the new Kin Vegeta, Bardock tells them all his intent after they turn their scouters off. Vegeta is very open to overthrowing Coola and respects Bardock enough to work with him, but is aware of how much of a disadvantage they have, even if attacking as Ozaru, when Ginyu has mastered control of Frieza's body. Goku then brings up the Room of Spirit and Time on Earth, which piques everyone's interest. They head back to Earth while using the gravity room Bardock had Bulma install in his ship, with Bardock going in with Goku first, then Vegeta with Nappa, and Raditz with Piccolo. Neither Goku nor Vegeta improve anywhere near as much as in the Cell arc, with both being far weaker and less experienced at ki control than there, with even Vegeta conceding the full year is too much. Raditz, however, manages to endure the full year through his willpower, when not wanting to remain the weakest of the Saiyan team, and feeling offended his father would be more interested in a son lacking any Saiyan ideals, rather than the one who has always upheld them, finding himself close to accessing the new power towards the end. Once Raditz leaves the room, Bardock gets a vision of him with golden hair opposing Coola, and finally gains some interest in Zelda's son once more. They then prepare to gather up more Saiyans to revolt, with Bardock still saying there's no guarantee they'll survive against Coola, but Goku saying the Dragon Balls could still bring them back if so, not realizing the thoughts these Saiyans have towards this revelation. Vegeta then asks if the Dragon Balls could grant someone immortality, and Piccolo's attempts to shut Goku up solidify Vegeta's plan. Vegeta then orders Kakarot to make him immortal with the Dragon Balls, and has Nappa back him up. Bardock opposes this though, with Vegeta having to prove he's worthy of immortality, and that fighting over it is pointless right now. Bardock then helps gather his former team, and detail the plan to get a Yardratian to teach them the techniques Coola has been learning, and split into 3 teams when the time is right. Bardock, Goku, and Vegeta to face Coola, Nappa and Raditz to face Ginyu, and Toma's team to oppose Coola's armored squadron, that has now absorbed the Ginyu Tokusentai into them. They then give Bulma a scouter to listen, so she can use the Dragon Balls should they be necessary in the midst of battle. With Vegeta deducing there must be Dragon Balls on Namek too, they stop there first to see if they can have multiple contingencies. The Saichoro unlocks Goku and Piccolo's potential, but views the other Saiyans as too evil to be worthy of it. Nail also takes Piccolo aside to inform him of Namekians being able to merge, with several of them being willing to, so the Saiyans can't do as they please. But Piccolo rejects the cheap tactic, when wanting to improve by his own strength if he can help it. The group then head to Yardrat, where Pibara shelters them and allows them to learn in secret. None of them are skilled enough in ki control to benefit as much as Coola or Moro Arc Vegeta, with everyone focusing on learning Shunkan Ido, and Piccolo also perfecting cloning over a few months. The next stop is where the former kin Vegeta is living out retirement, where Vegeta tells his father the plan and says he best come along to create a Powerball rather than have him use up his ki to do so. Meanwhile, Thomas' group go to the Galactic Patrol for a weapon Bardock keeps secret from the rest. They then start their strategy as Bardock arrives on planet Coola and apologizes for his absence when saying he's brought a Namekian that can create wish-granting orbs that draws out all the significant members of Coola's army. The battle then begins, with all Saiyans but Goku transforming into Ozaru from the start. This is enough for Toma's team to easily wipe out the armored squadron, but Sauza and Bata's greater speed have them cut off the tails of and exterminate Totepo and Pambukin, while the power Raditz and Nappa have gained from their experiences have them wipe out Ginyu with a Cho Makoho before he can think of changing bodies. Coola, however, proves enough to overpower Vegeta and Bardock before destroying the Powerball as the others come to help out. Coola's strength is too overwhelming though, with Thomas, Seripa and Nappa being wiped out before Vegeta tells Bulma it's time to use the Dragon Balls to make one of them immortal. Before she can do so though, Piccolo is the next to go, and then Vegeta, before Coola targets Goku. After having spent so much time grown close to his son though, and seeing a vision of the future, Bardock takes the attack at the cost of his life. Goku and Raditz's rage at their father's demise, having them both transform into Super Saiyans. The combined power is enough to pressure Coola, but not gain a decisive edge until he's sliced in two, turning out to be a death saucer from Frieza, whose weakened body and isolation has heard him dedicate his time to meditating on how he'd get his revenge, and Toma's team haven't freed him for this opportunity. Coola is still alive and finishes his brother off with a death ball, but this provides the opportunity for Goku and Raditz to combine Shunkan Ido with a Kamehameha and Double Sunday respectively that completely envelops the weakened Coola and brings an end to his reign. Both then head to Namek to revive Piccolo, and then have the Saichoro tell Bulma to wish for all those who opposed Coola's army recently to be revived. The Saichoro then rewards Raditz by unlocking his potential when having sensed the change to come to him in the battle. Raditz also feeling it in going back to Earth with Goku and Piccolo, with the power vacuum left with Coola defeated and Frieza revived. Wait to see how part 2 unfolds.